Alright, so this is my first video. I'm currently looking at the Chiefs 2019 offseason possibilities, and I really like this option that I've been looking into. So first things first, I'm just going to show you the document that has all the plans. Pretty simple stuff. I'm not doing anything like extravagant. Um, so first things first, we're going to go ahead and go through our cuts and trades. So I'm currently using Over the Cap, this salary cap calculator. It's extremely useful and really has, aided me in this exercise. So my first thing is Justin Houston. I'm going to project that he's traded to Carolina. They really need an edge rusher and have an extra fourth round pick. So that would be this right here, Carolina's fourth rounder, 115 overall. Next is D4. This is a move that would be pretty crazy if it happened, but I really like the possibilities of this. So it's right here, trade with Green Bay, and that's Green Bay's second rounder, 44 overall. The cap relief that we are getting from this is really allowing us to add other pieces. I highlighted Trey Flowers and Landon Collins. I think they would be great fits with our defense. But that's for later. So after those two are done, we're going to go ahead and just cut Daniel Sorensen, Xavier Williams, Eric Murray, and Reggie Ragland. Whether it be for cap relief or just don't have a fit in our defense anymore, I don't really think that they are worth their cap numbers. And then also I'm going to designate Eric Berry as a June 1st cut. And what this does is it lowers his cap hit this year, which really helps us when it comes to getting Collins and Flowers. So if I do this as just a normal cut, his dead money this year is going to be $15 million, and that all goes against the cap right now. So if we designate him as a June 1st cut, part of it is this year and part of it is next year. And we're trying to do big things this coming season, so let's get all the cap relief we can for this season. So boom, right there. So that goes through here, our cut trades. So I'm gonna go ahead and re-sign Anthony Sherman just because I love Big Anthony. He's a great locker room guy, great on special teams, and really helps us out on offense when he gets a chance. And I'm going to go ahead and ERFA tender Hamilton, Kemp, and Butker. Each are, very low cap numbers, and that's really helpful this year. And then Jordan Lucas, I went ahead and RFA tendered him, just an original round, $2 million. I don't want to spend $3.5, $4 million on Jordan Lucas. He's a quality player, but not worth that much. But the reason I kept him with that tender is, we're cutting Barry, cutting Sorensen, cutting Murray. Those are three safeties that we're losing just from cutting. And then we're also getting rid of Ron Parker. I'm not going to re-sign him under any circumstances. He was just terrible this year. Ron, he was a quality player for us in the past, but it just is not worth paying him any money anymore. So let's see. Our next so I'm going to go over the Landon Collins and Trey Flowers. So first one I'm going to do is Landon Collins. I gave him 4 years, $51 million overall, which equals to about $13 million per year, a little less. And as you can see right here, average per year, Eric Berry is the highest. So Landon Collins is definitely going to want to try to get at the top of the safety list. I have him just missing it, but with him being so young, only 25, us giving him a 4-year deal allows him to hit free agency again at 29. So as you can see, these contracts line up pretty well. He would have the second best contract, and then first best, considering that Eric Berry is getting cut by us. So he sets the standard for the safety contracts now, which I'm sure Landon Collins want to do. And then we're also going to go ahead and give Trey Flowers 4 years, $68 million overall, $20 million signing bonus, and $52 million total guaranteed. So let me go to this page. So with Trey Flowers' deal, it equals out to $17 million, and I'll go ahead and go to his. So here's Trey Flowers in 2019, 2020, 2021. Making 17, and 2022 making 17. So he just has a flat 17 million cap hit every year, and on his last year he is a very cuttable player, only 5 million in dead money, and would recover 12 million if we ended up cutting him a year early. I'm going to backtrack a little bit and go to Landon Collins so you can see how his contract is laid out. So he's right here. 3.75 prorated bonus every year for 4 years equals out to, I believe, 15 million. Yeah, I gave him a $15 million signing bonus right there. So he goes out 13.75, 13.75, 13.75, and then his last year is going to be 9.75. So that's going to provide a little bit of cap relief too. We could also cut him, only getting 3.75 in dead money and getting 6 million back, but 9.75 million for a 29-year-old Landon Collins would be awesome. As you can see our other contracts here I've already done. I just didn't want to backtrack and do it while I'm recording this video. I'll get to those later though. So as you can see, we're up to here now. We've acquired all of these. So next is the Tyreek Hill and Chris Jones extensions that are definitely going to need to happen soon. So I'll start with Tyreek Hill, 5 years, $105 million overall. I thought I already had this pulled up. So let's see, 5 years, $105 million overall, $20 million signing bonus, and 67 total guaranteed. So as you can see, he's gonna break Odell's total value record by having it at 105 instead of 90. His 67 total guaranteed is just surpassing OBJ, and let's see, and his fully guaranteed is also going to be at the top at 47 million. He's not quite getting the signing bonus, but he's getting more total guaranteed either way. And so as you can see, I'll go to his contracts. So here he is in 2019, just a $6 million because you add on his roster, his signing bonus, which is $4 million over 5 years. So you'll see that as we go through. So next year, cap hit of only $6 million. 2020, the reason I did this, which that is a huge number for a wide receiver. Don't get me wrong, for any player actually. But with him only getting $6 million, if we have him get a really high cap number next year, it's gonna make us, a little tight, but it's gonna provide a lot of freedom later in his contract. Him only getting $19 million, that's pretty awesome. And then his last year getting 15. And as you can see, I don't have any guaranteed money in that year. In his last year and his second last year, he only has a signing bonus as guaranteed money. It's because I front-loaded his contract with guaranteed money, so if he's the type of player that if he loses some of his athleticism, he might start going downhill, and this contract really helps us out if it ends up going that way. And if not, he's still getting paid a lot of money, and in this year, 2024, if he wants to re-up, that's something that could happen. So there's Tyreek. Chris Jones is up next. His extension also coming up soon. I also gave him a $20 million signing bonus. Just, it's a pretty good number. It doesn't make any 1 year too terrible with his prorated bonus every year. So next year, he's only getting $6 million, just like Tyreek. That's a really good number to have them as their first year. Since I gave Tyreek so much money this year to make room for Patrick, that allows Chris Jones, we don't want to give him a huge cap hit year either. So this is one of his lowest years, is 2020 at $14 million. I will go ahead and pull up the top 4-3 defensive tackle contracts because that's what he's going to be in. So as you can see right here, Chris Jones, 5 years, $99 million overall, so just below Fletcher Cox. $20 million signing bonus, which right here it looks like he got about a little more than $25 million signing bonus, and 53 total guaranteed in here. So he's right up there with the Gerald McCoys, Fletcher Cox. Gosh, Marcel Darius' contract is terrible, but he's going to be one of the highest paid D tackles also, and he won't agree to an extension that's not one. So you do what you have to do. We have 2 elite players coming up needing extensions. So, sometimes you just have to do it. But it's awesome that now they are taken care of for, years to come. So next year is 2020, $14 million. Then he starts going up to 24. Tyreek has a much lower cap hit though, which will help. That's the first year that Patrick's contract is going to kick in, which is going to be a wild, wild contract that I'll get to later also. 2022, $24 million. And then 2023, which is his second to last year, I believe. Yes. He's cuttable also. That's a lot of dead money right there, $9 million. But if we need to do it, you can always cut him and get $10 million back. I just wanted to have less guaranteed money at the end of his contract. So if we want to re-extend, that's something that he'd have an incentive to do if he didn't have very much guaranteed money back here. A restructure which would give him more guaranteed money and could help save cap space in the future. And then boom, his last year, cuttable for $12 million with no dead money. Tyreek, $15 million, no dead money. So that takes care of our internal affairs before the draft. And so I use the Draft Network. They have an awesome draft simulator. And this is what I used. It came out to this. I went all 7 rounds. And really kind of drafted based on my needs with what the team had at that point, including Landon Collins and Trey Flowers. So I went with Taylor Rapp in the first round. Great safety, really versatile. Him and Landon Collins back there with Jordan Lucas and Armani Watts would just be fantastic as a safety group. Would give Spagnuolo a lot to work with. Then in round 2, this is the pick that we got for D Ford. I went with Lonnie Johnson. He has that Matt House connection, our new linebackers coach. He has great length and a lot of potential. Same with Rock Yassin, another cornerback. I really wanted to double dip because our cornerback depth right now is just not great. I'll scroll down a little bit to show you. I have Lonnie Johnson and Rock Yassin right here. So the only cornerbacks really to speak of on the roster right now are Kendall Fuller, really solid nickel player. Charvarius Ward showed some potential last year, and Tremont Smith, really good returner, possible nickel in the future. We'll see how these two develop along with Johnson and Rock Yassin. If they all kind of pan out and become solid players, it'll allow us to move on from Kendall Fuller, which would be huge with where our cap room is looking over the next couple years. So I went with those two, both long, rangy corners. And then after that, I went with Darrell Henderson. He is an explosive running back. He ran a 4.42, I believe, or in the 4.4s at the combine, just blazing fast, and has a lot of make you miss. LJ Collier and Edram TCU, he really showed out at the draft as well. So did his teammate at TCU, Ben Banogu, He had one of the best performances as well. But he kind of fits into that Sam role like Justin Houston would have, and Breeland Speaks is now, so we're getting some depth there. because going into the draft, we really did not have much defensive line depth. So we had Flowers, Noddy, Jones, Speaks, Tano Passanio, and Joey Ivy. And outside of those guys, oh, and Justin Hamilton, I forgot to write him down. But even so, I mean, he is just a run stuffer up the middle, not going to give you much in the pass rush. Ivy's a total unknown just on the practice squad. And then Tano Passanio, former second-round pick. I think the scheme change is going to help him a lot, getting him more wide, like a wide 9 position like he played in college. Maybe it'll help his development. But yeah, so LJ Collier fits in there as a rotation with Speaks. And then in round 4, this is the pick we got from Justin Houston. I chose Kalen Saunders, pretty high potential guy from Western Illinois, another small school. If you remember Nathan Shepard from last year, he went to Fort Hays State and was drafted by the Jets. Another small school guy, probably needs a year to develop, but has some really good upside. Anthony Johnson, it's about time we start adding to our receiver core. There have been mock drafts that I've done where I took a wide receiver in round 1 because that's just how the board played out. Wasn't really a safety or corner I was happy with, and sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Outside of Tyreek and Sammy Watkins, there isn't a ton of proven depth here, as you can see. Demarcus Robinson, Marcus Kemp, Garrett Dieter, Byron Pringle, Sammy Coates, a new signing, but I went ahead and got Anthony Johnson, a really good route runner from Buffalo. I think he's going to be a quality wide receiver. No, he's not going to be spectacular, but hopefully he's a chain mover in the slot and is a natural separator. At linebacker in round 6, I went with Sion Takitaki. I'll admit I don't know a whole lot about him, but I just know that we need linebacking depth extremely bad. Obviously some of these spots will be taken up by some low-cost free agents we bring in, but I didn't want to go through all that. It's just so hard to tell who we're going to target. So I'm trying to fill some of these holes with late-round draft picks. So Taki, he ran a 4.6, I believe, at the Combine. So he has some athleticism, some range. And round 6, pick 214, Hjalti Froholt from Arkansas. He's played with some really quality interior offensive linemen, especially at Arkansas with last year's Frank Ragnow. And I believe there's another one this year that's a little higher round target from Arkansas. But, he's, depth guy. Hopefully he can turn into something eventually. Kind of like the Andrew Wiley, Jimmy Murray's, Austin Ryder's, Khalil McKenzie's. All guys with potential. We'll just see how it plays out. And then lastly, round 7, pick 216, I got Will Harris from Boston College. I accidentally picked the wrong guy on this. Oops. But Will Harris was open. He tested really well at the Combine, really rangy, just raw. It wouldn't shock me if he went in round 5 or, just with his athleticism. But he was there in round 7, so I took him, and I like it. So here's our roster post-draft. Obviously, there's going to be more vets added and some, some changes. But overall, I like this group. I'm a little concerned with the linebacking depth for sure. And then also pass rushing depth. I really like Trey Flowers, him being reunited with his D-line coach from New England and Kansas City, I think is just great. Chris Jones, one of the best pass rushers there is. We're just going to need to see some improvement from Tano, Passanio, and Breland Speaks this year. And LJ Collier coming in, Kalen Saunders, both guys, mid-rounds. Hopefully they can provide some pass rush as well. And so that brings me to the end of next year. This team I really, really love, and I think we would do really well. But yeah, so the looming question obviously is Patrick Mahomes, his extension. It's going to be coming up soon, and we've got to prepare for it. And so in 2020, I love this because you can go through. I went ahead and just cut Sammy Watkins, ate his $7 million in dead money, just because we are going to need that space in 2020. As you can see with Patrick's contract coming up, we just don't have a lot of room. So as you can see, Sammy is there. 2019, 2020, I'm cutting him. So that's something that's really nice about this, program with Over the Cap. So I went ahead, got to Patrick Mahomes. He's gonna want more money than just his signing bonus and his rookie contract. So I went ahead and added another like $6 million onto it of what it would already be. I think that's pretty fair of his first year, $14 million, a lot more than he'd make otherwise. Go ahead and bring some of that money forward for him because he's a superstar in the future of our franchise. You want to treat him right. And then this is where things start getting pretty crazy. So here's Mahomes. He's got his $6 million signing bonus, $29 million guaranteed. Like I did with Tyreek and Chris Jones, I went ahead and put a lot of their guaranteed money at the beginning of his contract. At the end of his career, I'll go ahead and go through his years here. But at the end of his contract, $36 million, $36 million, $31 million. So here in 2024, he's at a point where we have to bank on him. Without him, we have nothing, no really big hope. And so if he's terrible by this point, we can finally cut him in 2024 and actually gain cap. But at this point, he would probably want another extension because people are gonna pass this $31 million cap hit. So these last 2 years are kind of just icing on the cake. No guaranteed money, so we don't have to worry about that coming into another contract extension with him. And he's still gonna be making a ton of money through here, but we've got to put our hopes in him. So yeah, that is actually, I'll go ahead and show you how that works in with current contracts for quarterbacks. So I have it right here. Aaron Rodgers is obviously the top one right now. Mahomes is going to blow that out of the water, in my opinion. He deserves it. He's a young kid with all the potential in the world and has done everything right. So 6 years, 202 total value, 202 million. I mean, it's a huge number, but Matt Ryan, who wasn't near the quarterback he is, got 150. So just as a benchmark, or just so you can kind of think about it, 202 million divided by 6 is going to be 33.667 average per year. So really, he's not much higher than Aaron Rodgers right now, but his total guaranteed, 125 million. That's 25 million more than any current quarterback. His $30 million signing bonus is just massive. Obviously this is a 20 million, 6 million. So here's a 32 million. So there's Stafford, Derek Carr. So he's going to be right in that 30 million signing bonus range. But yeah, so that's how our cap could work if we went this direction, and I think it would be really good to a really good plan. If we went in to 2019 season with D Ford, I would have no problem with that. Don't get me wrong. But I think getting Justin Houston off the books needs to happen this year, as well as Eric Berry for sure. We're just going to need to add more people. Free agency, whether we go like high quality, like Landon Collins and Trey Flowers, getting these bigger contracts, but guys that are going to make a big impact, or we could go more depth, kind of think about Vinny Curry for 4-3 end, or George Aloka, guys that aren't going to quite make as much money, but, can provide depth. We're just going to need our younger guys to step up if that's the way we decide to go. So I appreciate you watching and hope this got you to think a little bit. Thanks.